So, last time, after having found, uh, after having done a mission, or bleh, after they had finished a mission but not turned it in, for the blacksmith from Yukiyegi, having fought displacer beasts and all sorts of other fun stuff, um, the party realized that there was a fire via well-placed sense of smell, and because they're all mostly flatland, and because I don't understand how fire works, apparently, um, uh, the group was able to get back to Yukiyegi in time to save it from a forest fire. Everyone did really well to keep the village and town safe, and then you went to investigate. You found Dalton, a very mean and aggressive halfling firebender arsonist person. And you later found out via Awakened Mind that he was rather crazy. And due to learning this and him blasting Locke with a level 5 fire spell that almost killed him in one shot.
Knocked him out at least.
Yeah, Silver decided that she didn't like that. Went all ragey mode into bye-bye.
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 Well,
It's just like one slash across the throat and the other decapitate him. Yep.
and it was less ragey mode. It was more like the fact that she was
Magical girl cutscene. Mm-hmm.
Well, no. If Magical Girl cutscene was turning into a, as Brian put it, a creature from the abyss.
Sure, why not? They can be
mean,
magical.
Wings, black eyes, black tears.
It's like, with a very intimidating, swirly background that also has sparkles, but is nonetheless the intimidating. She just pulls her weapon out of thin air and ignites it, and the music gets all dramatic. That's what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, kind of.
Her sword doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes out of a scabbard.
Which hangs off her hip.
And as she pulled it out, it was already...
It makes it look like it.
Yeah, and as she pulled it out, it was like already lit, and she didn't say her magical word.
Indeed.
Okay, fine. She pulls out her sword and she beats him upside the head. Okay.
Yay!
Alrighty.
It's just the simple things that make me happy.
Having done so, the effect terrified Yong, and Locke is a coward anyway and didn't even roll it because he wasn't close enough, but it doesn't matter. And the two of them basically ran away into the nearby Misty Timberland, which is the forest in which Misty Village resides. And oddly enough, those two are the only two characters that realize that there is a village in there, because Silver has never been there and neither has Kad. So,
Yep.
The two of them travel inside, and perhaps
we traveled
perhaps
a short ways in and then just stuck to a tree, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you slapped Yong.
I slapped Yong when she startled me.
Indeed, which was also very funny. And the ending of that session was Yong saying, of course, "Yeah, I deserved that," because she kind of did.
Yep. Glad to know she acknowledges it.
So, all that being said, we will probably open back up in the aftermath of that craziness. And I'm going to start the scene over near Silver and Kad. Because scene ended in the forest with Yong and Locke, so scene begins with Silver and Kad. And Silver comes down from her crazy...
Wings kind of disintegrate, and eyes go back to normal.
Yes.
Oh, and the sword is still, like, searing the blood off of it.
Yep. And you have you also have a decapitated, very dead halfling near the road, where you are. Still died up, by the way.
So I turned this over. I'm like, "So are you okay then?"
She sighs. You're like, I could be better. And she like almost slightly sheepishly look at him and be like, "You're not gonna run away now, are you?"
Aw.
No.
Okay.
Let's see. So
Probably
what
bury.
do we want to do with him? Point down to the two pieces that used to be united.
Probably bury
Divided
him.
we fall.
Random jokes coming out of the trees.
Yeah, this is a weird forest. Anyway, I think we should probably just find some place to bury the body and then go and find the other two.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Hmm.
I guess we go about and burying the evidence.
How easily can an elephant dig a hole?
Next time, flush the evidence.
I don't really know, especially considering that that this particular elephant has always resided in a city.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't exactly have tools to dig. So
Yeah.
would that be a survival tech to dig a hole by hand?
I don't know. I
Try
just.
It would probably just be a raw strength check. I'm thinking about it.
I mean, I could take my warhammer and bash down into the ground over and over and over again, make a crater about his depth, and then kick him into it.
That would probably
No,
have
let's
higher
just
DC, honestly.
let's just dig a normal hole.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it would take you a little bit of time, but it wouldn't be necessarily that difficult to do. The land's not super like heavily packed to where you would need a shovel that bad because you got mostly like dirt roads and things on this part of the map.
And you said that we
Yeah,
were
it's
just
just
on the
like-
outskirts of the forest, right?
Yeah.
So we would probably want to duck maybe two to four rows of trees in and do it somewhere so it's not right in eyesight that the ground was recently disturbed.
That's true.
Hmm.
So the two of you are working to do that. And Young is now sort of calming down because her fright was magical in nature. It wasn't that she's a coward because she's not really. At least not as much as Locke is. So she's sort of braced herself against the tree. A couple, maybe about 5 tree lines of trees in, and she's okay. Locke, you all right?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I don't think I'm having a heart attack, at least.
You ever seen anything like
Always a
that?
good thing.
Outside of my nightmares? No.
Oh well, okay. Yeah, that was both very cool and very terrifying.
Yep.
So, what do we want to do? Do we want to head back out of the forest and try to find the two of them, or do we want to? I mean, we could go on to the village. We're a little less than halfway there anyway.
I would like to listen to see if I can hear the sounds of Kad being eviscerated by an abyssally angry Silver.
Roll perception then.
Natural 20.
Okay. So, with your natural 20, you do not hear Kad being eviscerated by Silver, or anything of the sort. You don't hear any wayward, mournful trumpet calls, or anything of that nature. Although you do hear the sound of coming a little ways away from where you were, like back in the direction that you had come in. You hear the sound of someone who is obviously not the best at traveling through a forest, either because they might be too big or because they're not very stealthy, or both. And you also hear coming from the other direction towards Misty Village, or what you would assume would be Misty Village. You hear these because natural 20.
Because
You hear
natural
these
20.
subtle sounds of a string instrument of some sort being tuned up or messed with. From probably further north.
Well, I am not hearing Kad dying, so I'm going to cast invisibility on myself, and then I'm going to start making my way back towards the others.
Okay. Young, you disappear, and Young's like, where are you going?
Back
Village
to the
or-
others to see if they're alive or not.
Okay. All right. Anyway, you are sneaking your way back towards where the others are. You can roll you a stealth advantage because invisible.
All right.
And Young is going to follow you.
20, not natural.
Nice.
Heh.
I'm leaving Young behind.
she,
You push a tree branch out of your way and it whips back.
yeah, pretty much. Because she doesn't know where you are and what you're moving through, and yeah, you end up inadvertently hitting her with a tree branch, and yeah.
Oh.
So, and she is just. This is why following an invisible person in a dense forest is not easy. Okay, I'll just.
No one said you had to follow me directly. You could just find your own way back to the road.
Yeah, fine. And she sort of wanders off in a different direction.
There we go.
Although you know the exact direction that she's going left. You're going right towards the outside. She's going left towards the outside. She's sort of doubling back.
All right.
And yeah, you very easily come upon sort of almost meeting in the middle, basically. Though they don't see you, of course. Although I guess they could roll perception if they want. If you, yeah, go ahead and roll perception. Locke or Kad and Silver.
You don't really fucking hide to see the invisible person. Should they get disadvantage for this?
It gives you advantage to stealth, but it doesn't give them disadvantage. But they're not going
Alright.
to necessarily see you if they roll high enough. If they roll high enough, they're going to hear you.
19.
Okay.
Can I smell him?
Oh my god.
You could
That's
roll.
not creepy at all.
You chose to roll normal instead of with advantage. Roll that again.
Okay. Boop.
I
No.
I made it a query to ask whether or not you wanted to roll with advantage or not. So.
Okay, gotcha.
But no, with a 10, no. So 19 is just under your stealth, so you guys have no clue that Locke is there invisible.
Okay.
But
But
Locke
but
would
can
see that-
all is back to normal.
yeah, Locke would see that Silver's back to normal and that the two of them seem to be in the process of burying the evidence, as it were.
All right. I will approach, and once I'm in about 30 feet, I will awaken to mind to Silver and ask, "So, what the hell was that all about?"
Yeah. It's kind of bit of my past story.
I mean, obviously. kind of just flicker into existence in front of them, like hands clasped behind my back. Dropping the invisibility spell. Ow. Just hit myself in the elbow with a fucking thermos.
Yep.
Good job.
Shut up.
So Locke suddenly appears out of nowhere as you're digging this hole, Kad.
Mm,
Though you knew he was in
Where
the
is
forest, so I
Yong?
don't...
yeah. I was trying to think and judge would I be really surprised, but I don't think so.
Maybe startled because he didn't hear me approaching.
Mm. Oh, so you're fine then.
Yes, I'm fine. I was a little startled, you could say. Sort of just focusing on Silver as I say that.
You run really fast, friend.
Well, I've had to.
Some people have effect on some people that make them scared of me really easily.
Yeah, well, I'm scared of everything. Anyways.
Where's Young?
At about this time, there's a trig snap and a like mumbled curse.
There she is.
Do I still have a job?
Young just sort of blinks and she's like, "What? Huh?"
I scared you. You ran away.
You did. It was actually really cool. Had it not, I'm pretty sure that I don't know magic at all, but I would assume that there is some sort of fear mumbo jumbo going on with that sort of thing, because had I not been terrified by it, that would have looked really freaking cool. But it scared me, so I ran. As far as having a job, you most certainly still do. It doesn't bother me in the least for you to not stick around, as long as you don't use any of that mess on me or any of the party.
Seconded.
Well,
So,
then don't do anything that I would need to judge you for.
Right.
Oh
Y'all
no,
makes-
I'm a
y'all
recent friend. Are you judging me?
Very,
No.
very harshly, all the time.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding.
Yay.
All right. So, we were supposed to go to Rydell to deal with him. We don't have to do that now. What do we want to do, precisely?
No idea. I would say we should probably just head back to Yukiegi, but we're also rather close to another place.
Well, probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to check up on Oak and see how he's doing, seeing if he's still sulking. Last I heard when I left last I saw before I came to meet with you again in Yukiegi was he was sulking and Trouble was trying to talk him out of it.
You think Trouble was the one playing the dulcimer that I heard in the woods?
The what?
I heard some sort of instrument. I think it was a dulcimer when we were hiding from El Judgmental over there.
Right. Maybe? Did it sound like it was playing some sort of tune or being tuned up or
Tuned up, I think.
maybe? I think Trouble has one. He just, as far as I know, he hasn't used it in forever. But He does have one. That's possible, I suppose. So, Silver, Yong will turn to Silver and Kad.
You want to see something cool?
Yeah, no. He's like, okay, so in this forest is, I don't know magic, but this forest is very, like, magically enhanced, and if someone is trying to come in here who is not invited formally by someone who resided at one time here, then they're easily going to get lost. Some magical mumbo jumbo, something, I don't know. But I did used to live here at one time or another. And we do have friends here, and it's a place that we can rest and possibly resupply. And it's closer than any of the other towns nearby. So, are you okay traversing the forest with us?
Okay.
Alrighty then. Shall we?
Yeah. And she will lead the way. No survival checks needed, because I was actually kind of assuming that Locke might run towards town instead of checking up on Kad, but okay. He's closer to Kad than I thought he was.
Hey, I'm a coward, but I'm not heartless, alright? Then the guy let me ride on his shoulders, and that earns a major brownie points in my book. Locke's 16, alright? He still has some kitty instincts going around in that skull of his.
Yong will lead the party, and she will make your way. You guys will make your way up towards Misty Village. And as you are traveling towards that spot, everyone with perception checks not required will start to hear the sound of the instrument from before. And let's see how well it's being played. Yay!
Perform.
Flip. Not. Okay.
Not very good. It's
Yeah.
a new song.
New song, possibly new instrument, some various form of such a thing. So you guys are making your way. Again, no real perception check needed because he's not making any effort to hide. He's too focused on the instrument that he is messing with. Yong and Locke both see Oak over near this tree, and he is the one playing the dulcimer. And he hasn't noticed the two of you at all. And Yong sort of looks back to Locke and's like, Oak play okay.
Oak play okay.
She was gonna say, since when does Oak play an instrument? But then she just finished her thought before she actually said the phrase.
I am going to subtle mage hand and just start randomly plucking instrument strings on the dulcimer to fuck with him until he notices we're here.
Okay. I don't necessarily have to roll any kind of skill for that. That's not exactly hard to do. And he's just like, huh? What? What?
Ding 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 ding
Nah.
ding 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 ding. They're like playing like hillbilly music or something.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it does. The instrument itself, to me, sounds like some sort of weird blend between, like a banjo and a fiddle. So, it sounds really cool. I like it. But anyway, so yeah, it does have that sort of banjo sort of sound to it as you're just plucking random strings, and Oak is just fiddling with it and trying to figure out what's going on, and then he looks up and is like, "Oh, hey."
I will then use the mage hand to flick him on the nose before dispelling it. Hi.
Ah. Good to see
Been
you,
a
Locke.
while. Indeed. Did your mother do as I requested and give you a slap upside the head?
He rubs at the back of his head and like several, actually.
Oh, good. Went above and beyond the call.
Yeah. He also didn't let me go and unwind the way that I usually do. So I guess that's a good thing.
I mean, if it helps, I'm not one to judge on that.
And then he sort of sees Silver and the elephant in the forest.
Goddamn joke.
It's new friends, I suppose.
Yeah, couple, yeah. I'll turn and gesture. This is Silver and Kadruil.
I'll sort of politely bow.
And as the token there implies for you, Kenneth, Oak is a furbolg. He is a 6.5 foot tall, blue, half giant sort of race. Got the long ears, and he is currently in a sort of somewhat priest and clerical attire, which you have seen a cleric or two, so you do sort of know that attire. And he is currently messing with the dulcimer that is now on the ground because he threw it when it was being weirdly possessed. So, yeah. He then reaches down and picks it back up. So, anything specific bringing you back to Misty Village, or just was in the neighborhood, I guess?
Was in the neighborhood when a job we were on went tits up, you could say. Ended prematurely. Figured we'd stop in, resupply, rest, and check in on you and make sure you're not having a complete and total emotional meltdown.
Well, I'm better than I was a week ago, if that says anything.
Well, that's definitely good. I remember you reached out to me with magic at one point. Communication, long distance, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you do as I suggested and reach out to Riven?
I did. None too surprisingly, he didn't really understand the effects of the magic, and the only sort of response I got from her was, I believe it was something to the effect of, "I can't deal with you right now," or something.
Not surprising.
So she's wandered off then.
Yep. Haven't seen her in a while.
Alright. Well, I mean, mother said it before, you could, spend time here, relax and whatever, and new friends of yours or Yong's are welcome. So.
Alright. I can't necessarily think of any supplies I necessarily need at the moment. What about the rest of you?
Yong speaks up and I was actually thinking of getting me a few more rations because I don't know how much time we're going to be on the road, and I would assume that based on having someone like Silver along with us, we're not necessarily going to stay in town the whole time. So.
And I've been completely forgetting to keep tabs on my rations.
I hope you had enough to share with me because I didn't really have anything.
Well then.
Well, they were just stock up.
Indeed. Alright. All of you are welcome. He sort of looks between the four of you. or more to Silver and Kad, who's never been here, and he's just he sort of chuckles a bit, looking at Kad, and is like, "Never would have expected a Loxodon way out here, but good to meet you."
I never would have expected me to be way out here either.
Well, all right then.
Oh, heavens, it's like you two are made for each other. All right. And Locke is going to sort of pull his shirt a bit tighter and head for the shop to buy rations.
Silver's gonna follow him.
Sure.
Alrighty. Yong is actually
you and
going
Tony
to.
were still gazing into each other's eyes.
Yeah, no. Yong will follow, and everybody will make their way to the item shop, as it were.
The
There's that
place-
one over there.
The place with the things.
Yep. Actually,
Time.
yes.
And the deaf lady and the mute lady who sells blunts. Something, I don't know.
I'm sure she's very nice.
Oh, she definitely is.
All right. So.
Wait, was that in character?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't doing the
Silver would
voice.
be
If I'm not
confused.
if I'm not doing the voice, just assume I'm not in character.
All
Okay.
right. So you guys make your way inside. Kad. It's a good thing that people are used to Furbolg being in this town, because otherwise it makes sense that this town would not have big enough doorways. But there are a fair few people who are bigger in stature that traverse this town, so you're good. This is areas more sort of thatch and like almost tribal-ish in how it's built and designed. If this village was the one to be set, if this forest was to be the one set on fire, this village would be screwed. Anyway, so yeah, you come inside and you are greeted with a general store of sorts. It has herbs. It has pretty much anything you would expect from a general store, at least of a smaller stature such as this. And behind the counter is a somewhat young, 20-something female half-elf who is just sort of tending the counter as everybody walked in, and then she looks at the group, sees everyone that enters, sees the Loxodons, and immediately goes and hides behind a counter. He like disappears.
Oh no!
No, it's all right. It's all right. He's friendly. He's a gentle giant.
I'll stand there, like, looking down at the ground and, like, playing with the tip of my trunk. Just slowly swirling it around.
Does the lady come back out?
Yeah, she comes back up, and she's sort of blinks and sort of just shakes her head, and then she does that gesture of that like sort of the psych up, smack at the face sort of thing.
Right.
Where someone like hitting at their forehead and cheeks to just like wake up, get going, sort of thing.
Right.
And she does that and then gets back to the counter and
Puts on a very artificial smile.
well, she does actually smile, but it doesn't necessarily seem as artificial as you might would have thought. And then you're free to look around.
Alright.
And getting rations is pretty easy. I mean, they're organized fairly well. She keeps this shop well tended.
Alright. I would like to get 2 weeks worth of rations, 14 days for myself.
Yep. Easy enough.
How much is a ration?
5 silver a pop. So that'll be 70 silver, otherwise known as 7 gold. Which I'm pretty sure I have. I do indeed have
I think literally all the money that Kad had in his disposal was whatever he got from Locke.
Oh, the platinum?
The like 1 platinum from Locke. He's never actually.
Which I probably gave to the tavern keeper, and because we were there for quite some time. But I did pick up 3 gold that we apparently split from the encounter the other time. So I guess I could buy 6 rations. Yay!
We need to get you. We need to get this quest. Actually, you did it. You did get a quest complete from the blacksmith. And I never actually voiced it because he was all about the fire. But just like you would have got the mission parameters from the mayor that I didn't actually voice, it would have been implied that you would have gotten 10 gold from him. So give yourself an extra 10 gold.
Hey! Silver's slowly not being poor anymore.
All of us?
Yeah, you all would have had 10 extra gold
Yeah, I'm
that
up
I
to
just
12
forgot
now.
to add to the thing.
Yeah, I'm up
Okay,
to 12
wait a
now.
second. How much are rations again? Like how much
silver.
for gold?
For 1 day. For 1 gold, that's 2 rations for 1 gold.
I'll get 20 rations. That's just 10 gold, right?
I believe.
Should be.
So 16 rations would be 8 gold.
Question, who's all within 10 feet of me?
Yes.
Currently mostly everybody.
Okay, everyone for some reason feels a lot safer.
Oh yeah, that's right. You leveled up.
Yes.
Is that that's a passive thing that's just like not
Yeah, it's a passive thing.
okay. Because paladin.
Yeah, I got the aura of courage, which basically everyone now has my charisma modifier added to their saving throws.
Ooh.
And so far, currently my charisma is 4.
Neat.
Nice.
I'll remember that in the future.
Yes.
Yep.
So
But that's only like when you're in proximity, right?
within 10 feet of me, yes.
Alright.
All right.
How much
So-
would a book, empty book, and ink and such cost?
Probably not a whole lot. That is going to be something in adventure supplies that they would have.
Well, I've got the adventuring gear table open here, and it says here a book is 25 gold. I
But is
assume
that one that's already
book-
filled in? Because you're paying for someone's time writing each letter.
I would assume so. I mean, a book is still a relatively complex thing to stitch together.
Okay, how much is a sheet of parchment?
A sheet of parchment. Come on.
Oops.
Parchment, 1 sheet is a silver piece.
Dang. And if I was to get a couple sheets of parchment, would you recommend like some sort of tube that I like strap to my belt to keep them in so they don't get wrinkled or something? Or
Dude, I would assume it would come with that.
I'm gonna get 1 sheet of fine paper as well.
That would be 2 silver. Yep.
I'm good with that. Okay.
And then your rations, of course.
Yep.
Did anyone tell Silver and Kad that this lady doesn't talk?
No, but while you guys are making all your purchases, she hasn't said a thing.
Silver's going to attempt to do small conversation, small talk.
Okay.
It's like, hi.
2 waves.
Silver waves.
And then
How are you?
she sort of does like a double take, and then sort of looks around, and then gives you a bright smile and a small clap. She senses your little aura thing.
Why are you clapping?
She just smiles, sort of shrugs.
Silver confusingly looks over to like Yong and Locke, like, what?
You want to tell her or should I?
Young sort of sighs and Christine is mute. She can't talk.
Oh, okay. So just goes over somewhere else, just like, oh, okay, I'll just go over here now.
Whoops.
And at this point, Silver, you start to realize that some of the more, like, she has a few things in her shop that wouldn't necessarily be at your typical general store of this nature. Various herbs and, like, potions. She's like a subtle alchemist of nature, and a lot of them are actually labeled on the shelf, which is not something that's super common, unless the shop is much bigger and fancier and gets a bigger crowd. It's sort of weird for Silver that a small town like this would have labeled shelves and only some of them. But
Okay.
now that you know that she's
Should've
mute,
seen that
you're like,
coming.
ah, that's why.
Okay. I'm so gonna go stand over here now. Okay.
And then Kad, you get your paper. Yong gets some rations. And Locke, you getting anything other than rations?
Nope, I'm pretty much good on that.
And Kad, did you get rations as well as paper, or just paper?
Yeah, I picked up 16 rations, 10 parchment, and 1 fine sheet of paper.
Alrighty. Yep. Okay. So she gives all of you, as you make your purchases and things, she gives you all a smile and a bow and thank you and yep.
Actually, sorry, I just thought of something. How much would a very inexpensive candle be?
Copper.
Copper. 1 copper.
I'll grab I'll grab a couple.
What are those for?
Little by couple you mean literally 2.
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. Alright. She seems very
wax.
happy with all these random purchases.
Okay. Wax for what?
You never know when you'll need to seal something.
You won't want candles for that.
Yeah, no. You want actual sealing wax?
Which is very different from candle wax.
How expensive is it?
No idea.
It's
It's not listed in the player's handbook, I don't think. Yeah, nope, wax, not listed. Oh, wait,
But
no,
for
yes,
the
it is. Sealing
record-
wax, sealing wax, 5 silver. I just saw
Yeah,
it.
it's just
Oh, is it actually in there?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Sealing wax, 5 silver.
Okay, so let's reverse math. This goes away, this goes back. You said 5 silver, so this goes down, so this goes up, so then this goes down. You make things complicated, grr. Okay, fine. Two sealing
1 divided by
waxes.
3.
I'm currently only assuming that Locke knows the difference because like when he was like
Yeah, he
little or
would.
something, he'd be watching his mom like write up things and seal them and would ask, why can't we just use a candle? And she's like, because that'll ruin everything.
Well, keep in mind if you're not actually like, I don't know about magical requirements, but you can totally light a taper candle and allow the wax to drip in a small area, and
You
you
have to-
can make
you-
use of it.
You can, you just have to be extremely careful, otherwise it's going to make a mess.
Yeah. I mean, you
It's-
hold it an inch or two from the paper. I've seen movies where people
Yes.
use a candle to do it.
This
That's
is
why I
true.
instinctively went to candle.
This is true, but the pull that Sam and Brian are pulling were in Critical Role. They did the same thing, trying to get a candle instead of sealing wax, and the game master specifically said that he wasn't going to let them do that because he tried that in real life and it didn't work.
You need the right kind of candle to be sure. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's fine.
sealing
Sealing
wax
wax
is,
and all my money's gone. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Carry on.
sealing wax is actually a different compound of wax than a candle.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's a lot more sturdier, I guess.
Christina is very happy with all these random purchases. And she does look at she does sort of raise an eyebrow inquisitively at the Loxodon who's buying stuff to what seems to be deliver a letter or write a letter. Just minus the ink part. So she is curious about that, but other than she's curious enough in it by body language because she can't say anything about it. But yeah,
right. Well, after I made my purchases and paid for it, I'd smile real big and I'd bow in appreciation and thank her.
all right. So supplies got. I guess we then sort of retire to the shrine. What serves as the inn in this place because we don't have an official inn.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess we just go over there.
Yep.
Silver, you don't quite make your way all the way there because there.
Oh God. Okay.
You are
Oh no.
Up.
you are sort of stopped by a wayward tiefling.
Oh God.
Oh. Okay, so I guess I'm right here.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm stopped by a tiefling.
Indeed. He sort of
How does he stop me?
he will step sort of in your path and just give you a very charming smile.
A raised eyebrow. Can I help you?
You are new in town. We don't get very many
Yes.
visitors.
By the looks of that, I can probably tell.
My name is Trouble.
Oh.
I write stories. I would like to know a little bit more
Uh-huh.
about you if you aren't too busy.
He said his name is Trouble, and he's a
Mhm.
tiefling.
Yes, he is.
Her divine sense is gonna kick in.
Okay.
Is he good or evil?
Tieflings are outsiders, right?
I thought they had a fiendish.
They are technically of fiendish heritage. So let me double check tieflings as a racial thing. Hold on. Do they count as fiends? I think they do.
Pretty sure they count as humanoids.
Yeah, but still, I can do the detect good or evil thing.
Yeah, you can. Having used detect good and evil on Trouble, the divine sense sort of triggers and registers that he's actually in the middle of that level.
Hmm.
His alignment is technically neutral,
Right. Okay.
at least as far as good and evil is concerned.
She's just slightly suspicious. That's all. Okay. What do you want to know?
As I said, I am the town's lore keeper, and I like
Yes,
stories.
and you want stories.
I simply want to know more about you. You're rather, and he starts to say something more, and Yong sort of bats him in the back of the head and just like, chill, Trouble. Get out of here.
What?
He was trying and failing, I might add, to flirt with you.
He was trying to say you have je ne sais quoi,
Yeah, something like that.
but he doesn't speak French.
What is French?
That too. Anyway, yeah. So
We leveled
Yeah.
up and I did not adjust my health. Okay. Boop, boop.
you forgot to do your health, did you?
Yep.
Good job.
That's a shame.
Now it's fixed.
All right. So she's trouble. Young sort of chews trouble off, and you guys can continue onwards to the what amounts to the inn or shrine or temple, or it's sort of all of the above in this town.
We nap there.
Doo-doo-doo. Nap.
All other details are secondary. We nap here.
And
Negatives.
as you enter
Did
in, you see two things. You see, or two people. You see a somewhat middle-aged woman, probably mid to late 30s, and a little tiny, very, very small, gnomish girl with very, very, very cyan blue hair.
Oh, that's bright.
And the woman,
Silver
The-
will literally say this, like, "Oh, that's bright."
she sort of looks up and sees Silver, and it's like, "Oh, Locke, you brought somebody new. Okay,
Yes, I did.
you're very pretty. And yes, my hair is bright. I like it that way."
Thank you for the compliment.
Mom, new visit. I see them, Gretchen. And she sort of turns to see see you guys entering in, and a Loxodon way out here.
Yes.
Huh. Well, I see you have some new friends, Locke.
Yep. Circumstances kind of happened.
Oak told me that Silver had, or Ribbon had left.
Yeah, I haven't heard from her in a while.
She's dead.
Let's hope not.
Was that in character?
No,
Was that?
it was out of
Okay.
character.
Okay,
Bum,
good, because that was actually about to make a
bum.
Locke very pissed.
Yeah, she died to a manticore.
You had best be fucking joking.
Okay.
Yep.
That is an undignified as fuck way to die.
So,
Wait, what
yeah.
is?
Silver, for you, you notice that you sort of get the sense that this is a mini temple or shrine, as well as an inn. Less inn and more, there's beds here where people can sleep. And I know you are technically a paladin, but do you actually have religion as a skill?
No.
Okay. Yes.
Actually,
Because-
I do. Never mind. I do.
Go ahead and roll religion.
20.
Yes. You know that this is this shrine temple is to the nature god, the shrine to this guy.
Sylvanas.
who is a also known as from religious texts. He is also known as the Forest Father. And yeah. The older woman sort of gestures at the group and you are free to rest here. If any of you are hungry, Gretchen can whip something up. Can't you, Gretchen? Mm-hmm. And
I
then
would like some food. And also, where are the rooms?
in the back, they're not any sort of proper tavern or inn, unfortunately. So I'm not going to actually charge you for resting here if you won't. Any friend of Locke's is a friend of mine, and because he's a good kid.
Do you have a bed big enough for him?
I gently wave one finger at a time.
We do. Actually. Though you might be a bit too tall. It could hold your weight though. But yeah, assuming you could be comfortable on a bed that's just a little bit too small for you height-wise, you should be fine. And I wager that Kad is more than happy with that because it's much better than his bed in the prison would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, if you would excuse me, I'm going to go
Gonna go what?
find a room.
Yep.
She was gonna say go take her armor off, and then she was like, no.
Alright.
No way I could have worded that better. Anyway.
It depends on where trouble is.
Yeah. So yeah, she just goes to the room to take off the armor and be in normal casual clothes and then come back out.
Yep. Alright.
And Locke's just gonna find somewhere to sit and relax for a little while.
Yong is doing the same. And soon enough, the little blue-haired gnome girl comes out and has a plate of food, which she is Locke. Give me in your spells, it's Unseen Servant level 1.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
So she comes out carrying food for everyone, and she has a tray of food in each hand for 2 trays in one hand for. She's being very waitressy. She has 2 trays in one hand for Locke and for Silver. The other tray has one for Yong, and an extra one for Oak for whenever he comes back inside. And then floating behind her is a much bigger plate of food for the Loxodon.
Thank you.
And Silver sits and rolls up her sleeve so you can actually see the scales on her arm now.
Locke will kind of eye the invisible, unseen servant because he knows that's what that is at this point, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
He knows the spell.
Yep.
What do you call him?
Huh?
Bob.
You're invisible person. Did you give him a name or?
No, I actually didn't.
Bob.
Do
Just
they
let
need
them all
names?
be Bob.
Well, no, but now I'm kind of a dork, so I like to name things.
It starts with a name, and then they demand benefits, and then they go on strike. I mean,
And then
slippery
I cast
slope.
a spell, and they cease to exist.
And then you have a long rest, and they come back.
Only if I cast the spell again, which I won't at that point. An unshackled AI.
I
Like that.
I like to. I really like flowers. I think I'm going to name them Lily.
That works.
I didn't think they would need names, but okay. Hi, Lily. And
Well,
she
they
waves
don't.
at the floating plate.
Well, they don't necessarily need names, strictly speaking, but I don't know. I was running around solo for a long time, so just giving random things names, I don't know. It's just a weird habit I picked up.
Okay. And now everyone has food. Which, does Silver have, Arcana? I know that Locke does.
Silver does not.
Yeah. As if it wasn't flaringly obvious, a lot of this food, especially considering she's made so much, this food was sort of loosely supplemented by magic.
It's like eating nothing at all.
I mean, it's a touch above, by way of the spell for create food and water. It is nurturing, but it's it's a touch above rations, but it's not like fine dining in any fashion. So
It's still food.
it's food, and it's much better than what one would get in a prison. So I'm sure Kad's okay with it.
Hmm. I'm not real big on complaining in general.
This is true. So, and then as she is getting the food, and the unseen servant that is Lily places the food in front of Kad, Gretchen sort of looks up and up at Kad. You are very tall.
Yes. What race did you say she was again?
He is a gnome.
So very tiny compared to you.
So I'm looking literally straight down.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, she would, based on the imagery for like Loxodons, their trunk doesn't necessarily hang super low.
Mm-hmm.
But I would easily imagine that two Gretchens stacked on top of each other, Gretchen would have to jump to touch at your trunk that's hanging down. She's very small. She is actually shorter than a typical gnome because she is young. So she's
Okay.
like, she's literally 2.5 feet tall. So she's a little bitty person. So anyway, she sets the plate of food down for you, and then she sort of actually, yeah, she sets the food, turns back to Silver. Silver, where do you wear your helm symbol?
It's a necklace that's just like kind of hanging down
Okay,
out in the open.
and it's much more out in the open now because you're not wearing your armor anymore, I would imagine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yellow alert.
Gretchen turns back and then sees you again, Silver, with, and she sees the necklace, and she sort of blinks.
Nothing about the scales.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Silver
She's,
rolled up her sleeves and stuff, so her scales are showing.
oh
more.
yeah, I know. I mean, Locke and actually, yeah. As soon as you would have done that prior, Yong was been like, huh. That's kind of like the crazy guy that we dealt with before scales, but yours are prettier.
Yeah, it's from my heritage.
Oh, and this is Gretchen. You have dragon in your blood, I guess?
I have a very unique bloodline. Kind of. actually no, a more interesting. I had the word and then I just lost it.
Good job.
God, ancestral
Heritage?
line,
Lineage?
lineage. Yes.
That sounds to me like a translation to "do not pry."
No. My lineage is actually interesting, even though I don't know much about it.
She pulls out a giant family tree.
Yeah, it's just like reaching in the bag and holding, and then
just like pulls Yggdrasil out of her pocket. So this is my family tree. Holy shit!
Wait, you said she doesn't know much about it? Most of the branches have question marks on them.
Like the leaves are question mark shaped.
yeah. See, there's a picture of her, and everything else is just question marks.
Eh?
Huh.
So, anyway, but yeah.
Well, okay then.
How have things been here, out of curiosity?
Everything's been going well here. As long as we can. We haven't had anybody try to come in or try to do anything. Even the harpies or anyone, as far as I know. I think you guys scared them off way back when.
Good to know.
On that, I know that Oak mentioned that Ribbon had sort of wandered off, but
This is the mother talking right now, right?
yeah, this is Leanne.
Okay.
I know that Oak said that Ribbon had wandered off, but you might want to pay a visit to the butcher again before you guys head out. I think she was wanting to give some more, like, food. I guess you don't really have a need for it now, at least not in the form that you had for, what was his name, Hollis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. I think Snack really liked that dog.
Yeah, well, so did I. Just hoping I can see him again someday.
I'm sure she'll come back.
Well, that is the hope.
You could always have
Luck's
Oak
kinda
call
good.
for her again.
Could, but from what I know about her situation and why she ran off in the first place, it occurs to me that it would probably be a better idea to just leave her to her own devices for now.
All right then.
She'll get in touch when she's ready. No sooner, no later.
So where do you guys intend on heading after you leave here?
I was
We
figuring
spent-
probably back to Yukiegi. I mean, that's kind of our home base at this point.
I'm
What
not
about the
going
rest
to
of you?
Yukiegi.
Oh?
I'm going. I need to find a way back into Caberton.
That's so.
Young,
But-
you're kind of sneaky. Do you have any friends that can get me or anyone else in there?
Well, I know. Simple answer, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you would want to. If we would all want to split up, or I'll try to sneak in. It'd be a little bit harder with the adjusters over to CAD.
And that's why I'm asking you a way to be sneaked in.
Hmm.
So that way, you know, we can probably take care of some wanted business.
Right, that.
Gretchen
Question
sort of
is-
Gretchen sort of chimes up in the middle of this and is like, "What you need is a hat of disguise."
Well, it would sure be really convenient if someone happened to have one we could borrow.
Yeah, sorry.
For who? For Kad?
Wink, wink.
I'm like sitting at the end of the table. I finished my food. I'm just writing something, not really participating in the conversation. I'm in my own world.
Which on that you would easily have something to write with having come in here because Leanne's writing all the time, so you would actually have a inkwell to have gotten from her in the middle of all this.
Mhm.
So, well,
I like how no one's questioning to the fact is that Silver that we said we're wanted.
well,
I
you
mean, we all know that. Well, the rest of us know that, and chances
you
are Leanne
just
and Gretchen
you
aren't gonna
just
question
said that, and Leanne's like, "Do I want to know?"
it. That's
We broke him
entirely
out
up
of
to-
prison.
Yeah, pretty much.
You were in prison? Gretchen chimes up, looking towards Cad.
Right. Scribble, scribble. I sort of look up. And I look down. Right.
Also, I'll give Gretchen a look and say, like, yes, he was in prison.
And you're a fugitive now, so you would need a I don't have one, but I know where you could get one.
Really? Where?
My you would have to have some way to like prove to him that you maybe give him some sort of collateral. My uncle don't like him, but he's a jeweler in Rydell, and he really liked it because he could, you know. Yeah, my uncle has one. You could get one from him, but you would probably have to do something for it. I don't know what, but
Would bringing Yong and / or Oak along with us be help enough on that front, you think?
mm-mm. And then she sort of very sheepishly, like, looks down and then disappears into the kitchen. And then Leanne's like, Gretchen ran away from home. So, you speaking to her uncle, it would be good to know to not mention that you learned it from her.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
Well,
I don't.
that's a good start on the idea, but first things first, how ultimately would we resolve the, bounties on our heads, clear that whole fugitive business? Sorry, I dropped my bottle. We're going to need a plan to resolve that properly without jacking the numbers up before we can commit to any infiltration plan.
Young looks to Silver for that.
I'm slowly working on it, okay?
Working
All
on a
I know is we
plan.
need to go see the warden.
The warden. I wouldn't be surprised if he had to order new sheets.
What do you mean?
I scared the shit out of him, is what I mean.
You did? When?
Yeah, well, you weren't looking. Look, there's this freaky thing I can sometimes do. I can't do it all the time, only when certain powers that be deem it fit, but sometimes I can, like, ephemerally jump to other parts of the world and fuck with it, kind of. And time gets all screwy when I do it. It's weird and complicated and confusing, but it's useful, and I had to use it on the warden when said certain powers that be directed me to learn that the warden hadn't kept his word in regards to my father's sentence time.
Well, then he is a greedy cheat.
That he is. So I then
So we
proceeded
need
to
to deal
scare
with
the
that.
crap out of him by making him think he was being haunted by an invisible spirit that would slice his throat if he didn't keep his word.
And do you think he's going to keep his word?
Well, considering the fact I scared the absolute shit out of him and he went and signed the paperwork putting it back while I was looming over his shoulder with a sickle to his throat, I imagine so, yes.
Well, then why can't we go have a visit and make it sooner?
Look, my father's sentence has already been dealt with. That's not quite the same as bounties on our heads. Slightly
Well, I've had a bounty on my head technically before breaking him out.
right. Ultimately, what I'm saying is I don't necessarily think the warden is the target we need to be looking at because I'm not sure it's even really falls to him. The warden deals with what's in the dungeon and processing those going in. It's not necessarily up to the warden who gets what bounties or that sort of thing.
That's the thing. We broke him out of prison, his prison.
Right.
And so, yeah.
At this point, Oak is wandering into the area, and other people are already here, and I just hadn't moved them yet. And
Right.
Oak comes in as you are speaking of, having released Kad from prison, and Oak is like, "Who'd you release from prison? What?"
I point at the elephant in the room.
Silver does too. This guy.
The biggest
Right.
boy here.
And I would like to still figure out more details about why this big guy was in prison too.
That would be good to figure out.
So
The main
do you
thing
not
we'd want to
know?
do then is figure out.
Oak looks
We
to
know.
Kad.
Apparently, I know too much. I sort of shrug. Go back to scribbling.
Yeah, he read a thing, but he doesn't know what thing, and said thing got him chucked in a maximum security secret cell.
Basically.
Yeah. And you were a desk jockey?
Not sure that's the right terminology, but
I
more
was
than that.
trying to process if I would answer that.
No, I know out of character it's probably not right, but I couldn't think of the
Yeah.
term that what he actually was. So I was like, okay, so he's just a person that sits
Secretary?
at the desk. Yeah,
He did
secretary.
a lot of paperwork, secretarial. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is, I'm going to guess, only getting half the details having just come in. This is from a Caberton prison because I don't think any other prison would hold a Loxodon.
especially a Loxodon.
Well, if you're going to Caberton, I'm going to. If
Oh,
you'll
really?
have me.
You have business there?
I do.
Well, just don't go doing shit behind our backs this time, and you're free to come along.
No, of course not.
What?
It's a very long and complicated story that has to do with that Riven person we keep mentioning. I'd rather not get into it.
Okay.
To be completely transparent with that, Locke, do you remember Noro?
Yes, I do. Is he in Caberton?
I believe so, and I would like to.
Wait, I thought. Okay, out of character. I thought Locke, seeing the symbols on the teleportation pad, realized it's the same symbols as the teleportation in the cave.
He saw the teleportation circles, and knows that Noro traveled through Caverton, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Noro is there. It's just that
Oh,
Noro
okay.
went there.
Yeah.
But so Oak is like, yeah, apparently Noro is someone important in Caberton, and I want to look into that and see what some sort of mess the capital is in. I don't wager a person like Noro is any kind of high up if the Caberton is as peaceful and prosperous as it's supposed to be.
Nope.
Well then, this just screams potentially doubling our bounties or just slapping an extra one on your head.
Well, I mean, he is a fresh face.
Yes, but the thing is, if shit escalates with Noro, which let's be brutally honest, I level a flat look at Oak, it probably will, given our track record. If things escalate with him and violence breaks out, you're going to be getting a number on your head too if he's high up in the hierarchy in that place.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's already put a word in with the guards around to keep an eye out for you. Given how our last meeting with him went, wouldn't surprise me at all if he didn't immediately take that precaution when he came out of the teleport just to throw a monkey wrench at any pursuit.
I got a question. What kind of information does Silver know about the corruption about Caberton?
More than any of us.
Well, yeah.
Um.
Would she have heard the name Noro? But I
Uh.
mean, probably not. He probably uses a fake name. Or he just stays away from
It's
the
entirely-
public eye.
It's entirely possible. Roll me a wisdom. Also, Discord. Kenneth, I sent you a thing.
I had to figure out how to do it.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, no, nope.
Okay.
As far as you know, concerning the specifics, with a 6 wisdom roll, you sort of, it is your
All I know
understanding.
is there's corruption and stuff, and that she was slowly Batmaning her way through it.
Basically, yeah.
I am Batman.
And you also know, of course, that corruption is tied to Helm
Cowabunga.
and like there is something, to put it simply, there is poison in the water in Caberton, like a lot. Somebody is pulling some strings and doing some crazy things.
I can sit there and tell you that Caberton is not peaceful. It might be prosperous, but I mean, through maybe illegal means.
Yeah, I figured. No big town is going to be as prosperous as Caberton clearly is without some degree of
Corruption.
filth, I guess, or corruption. If you don't mind me coming along, anyway.
It's not up to me. They hired me, so.
Yong's sort of, as this part of this conversation, you sort of, having said, they hired me, you sort of probably look off towards Yong.
I know.
In particular, it was her that hired you.
Yeah, and it's like Silver's like, she knows she's past the day past the amount of days on that gym, but she's still saying that they hired her.
Yeah. You sort of look towards Yong for a second, and Yong has this sort of it's a weirdly sort of faraway look in her eye for a second, and then she speaks aloud, but it's almost as if she's talking to someone else, and I should be able to make my way there. Someone said it's something about us going to Rydell, right? And then she's turning and looking at y'all.
Are you talking to someone?
Kad sort of, not Kad, Oak. Oak sort of like raises an eyebrow and tilts his head towards Yong and goes, "Message spell?" And Yong nods. Well, if we're going to
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a convenient timing.
Yeah. I would like to go to Rydell anyway. So maybe we can look into that. What was it? How to disguise?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Oak sort of Oak smirks for a second and sort of looks towards Locke and goes, "This. Why does this feel as about convoluted as when we first met?"
Because it probably is.
Okay, so we go to Rydell, look into trying to get this head of disguise or whatever so that we can somehow sneak him in. He looks over to Kad, who's still probably writing.
I'm probably about done now.
And do you, I guess we can make a plan as we go to how to speak or deal with the warden.
Suppose that's our best bet.
What are we? I mean, what are we wanting to accomplish? We can't very well kill the prison warden.
Of course
No,
not.
I'm going to scare the shit out of him after we're done getting information and try to convince him to go live a more honest living, like leave town, never come back.
And of course, we want to make sure that the bounties on our heads at the very least are lifted, so we don't have to worry about bounty hunters following us all over the goddamn place.
But well, and also any useful information he can tell us about the state of corruption in the town would be very useful.
I suppose.
All right.
It would give us a place to start looking for this neuro person. At least.
Suppose it would.
All right. And
But first we have to deal with this uncle.
Apparently. Now, do we have a specific name?
said person was Uncle Langy, and you were also given a shop name, the Dazzling Tiara.
Oh, that should be fun.
Sounds pretentious.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wonder why. Probably cheats people with cheap stuff that just looks fancy.
Do I get to be a pretty princess?
If you want to, big guy. If you want to.
No one's stopping
If
you.
want.
And if they do, I would like to see them try.
You won't like me when I'm pretty.
Okay, that is being sent out of context D&D quote. Right now.
Of course, there was a stipulation that, Gretchen ran away, and you don't want to mention that you heard of this from her. And yeah.
Hi, we heard you have a hat of disguise. Sorry, we can't tell you. We'll have to kill you.
You'll have to come up with something, sure, if you want to try to get a hat from him.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So.
So, I'll is it like starting to get late? Like, are people starting
Yeah,
to head for their
it's
beds
getting
at this
close
point?
to late for you guys to actually lay down for rest.
All right. Before that, I'll pull Oak aside for a second. And I'll okay, I had initially been planning on heading back to Yukiigi, but apparently we are not doing that. And as I'm sure you remember, my mother is there, and she's probably expecting me back in a few days. So, since I'm not heading back in that direction, you have that long-distance communication spell. Could you just let her know what's going on? I don't
Yeah,
want to
of
leave her
course.
hanging. All right,
Of course.
thanks. Step one in making up for your blunder before. I'll clap him on the shoulder and fuck off to find a bed to sleep in.
How
think
tall is
Silver's gonna
Locke?
be the last one.
Locke is he is 5'4".
Okay, never mind.
I'm pretty sure I can reach his shoulder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little bit harder if it was Cad's shoulder, but it's Oak's shoulder. and Oak's not quite that tall.
and then
So-
Locke goes and falls asleep somewhere.
Yeah. So would probably be the last one to go to bed. So, if anyone else is still up.
Oak and Yong retire after a bit,
Mhm.
and then you have Kad. He probably finds. Well, when does Kad lay down? What does Kad do?
Yeah, I'd probably lay down too.
Okay. We all go to sleep.
Do you do anything special with your written letter before you lay down?
Nope.
Alrighty. So, having done that, the following morning, Gretchen has breakfast for everyone. Just as sort of plain but tasty as the aforementioned dinner was. Yeah, as you guys are eating dinner, she sort of
Breakfast.
or breakfast. As you're eating breakfast, she sort of pulls Locke aside for a second, and then she's
Which person?
Locke.
Gretchen.
Okay, Gretchen. All right. Okay.
So yeah, make sure that my uncle doesn't know that it was me that sent you his way.
You already asked us that, and I promise I won't tell him. All right?
I don't know what you could tell him as to where you found out about the Hat of Disguise. I don't even know if he still got it, but it's just.
Well, here's the thing. Is he a bad man? Like, horrible? That kind of thing? Like,
Not to everyone else, I don't think.
well, did you run away because of something he did?
I ran away because of the way the family was. Not anyone in the family specifically, but he was one of them, so.
Just kind of a dysfunctional mess.
That's why I like this dysfunctional mess better. At least everybody here is nice.
Mess that actually... It's a dysfunctional mess that rolls with it and makes sure they all are having fun with it.
Yeah.
It's the best kind of dysfunctional mess.
Yeah.
Well?
Just okay. You know magic stuff, right?
Yes, I do. To a lesser extent. Just
Um,
kind of comes to me, honestly.
So, you know, I know you saw it before. My hair is not normally this color.
I know.
It was my mother, who is Uncle Langie's sister, that would constantly make that not work just because she didn't want my hair to be blue.
Alright.
If that tells you anything.
Well, it tells me that, it implies that that individual may have been very controlling. Is that about right?
They don't know where I am, and considering that they didn't really send out a search party, I guess, something tells me that they didn't really care either. I don't know.
Well, if they didn't care, then I suppose it wouldn't be too far-fetched for me to not at all feel guilty for just nicking the thing.
What do you
Basically,
mean?
I'm implying if worse comes to worse, we could probably just take the thing without him knowing it.
Oh.
I mean, we've got what's essentially a ninja. We have a ninja on our team. I can turn people invisible.
Hey, yeah, and you already have
Giant
bounties on your
scary
head,
elephant. Another scary demon lady.
and you already have bounties on your head, so you wouldn't become criminals from that. You already are.
Well, I mean,
Our price would just go higher.
assuming they. Well, for one thing, I'm pretty sure you're not part of this conversation.
I'm not. Silver's outside.
That's assuming they were able to figure out it was us. Which,
Yeah.
If we do it right and if luck is on our side, come on, RNGesus, they probably won't.
The RNGesus, I did not actually say that, by the way.
Right.
It's like, who's our Jesus?
All right.
This is a new religion.
I wish.
Okay. So yeah, just be careful and come up with something, I guess, and then
Sounds like a plan. You just stay here, keeping adorable.
yeah. Also, also, if you as a secret thing, it might be cool for you to be traveling around with Oak again. I heard that he was trying to learn something new, and he's not quite good at it yet. So give him a boost of confidence, okay?
Maybe. I mean, he's kind of been a little mopey, right? Am I understanding
Yeah.
that correctly?
That's why he's trying something new.
Right, well, he has good reason to be mopey, so he has to make up for that first.
Right. What did he do anyway? Mom wouldn't tell me.
He made a very poor judgment call that led to him causing Riven a lot more distress than was needed, and actively went against her wishes on that. It's a complicated mess, and it delves into a lot of personal matters for her that I am not at liberty to discuss openly.
Right. Okay.
All right.
So what you're saying is he did a stupid. Okay.
That is the long and short of it. Yes, he did a very stupid.
Okay. And then she wanders off.
Yep, that kid is adorable. And then I'll go rejoin with the rest of the group.
Yeah, someone
Alrighty.
ran outside. Did she see trouble anywhere?
Yep. You both see and hear Trouble. He is up in this tree over here playing a lyre.
Okay, she's gonna wander over to him.
Okay. He sort of looks down and plays a like something close to a fanfare of sorts in a little rift, and then looks down and is like, "You actually coming my way?"
One, stop.
Okay,
Because-
fine.
And two, you said you were a lore master?
I
Do you want a
know.
story?
I know the stories of many of the people here, at least those that were willing to tell it.
Do you want another story?
If you're willing to share it.
Yeah, because at least someone should hear it. It's
All
about
right,
a girl who
I'm
has a
listening.
magic. She goes on and talks about a girl that has like these magical abilities and stuff, and it turns out there's a lot more to her and stuff, and that she's up against a very corrupted evil, and she leaves it in a cliffhanger because
Oh boy.
she doesn't know what's going to happen.
He doesn't know the ending yet.
I like it.
Did you miss the part where she killed her best friend?
We all have dark pasts.
Yeah, but some don't affect it like did her.
It's not. When I say that I like the story, that doesn't necessarily mean that I think it's good that she ended up hurting her friend, killing her friend. It simply means that it's a story worth telling because it may perhaps be something that others can learn from.
Learn what? Like not to be an idiot?
Sometimes the best way to deal with your own problems is to listen to other people's problems.
Okay.
Trust me, I have a lot of harsh history in my own past. And I mean, if you, let's just say sometimes it's better to not be so serious and caught in the moment. And just so you know, you ain't the only one who's murdered a friend. And he hops back into a tree.
He files your story in a book of friends who murder friends. It's like 300 pages deep.
Okay. So now someone knows. And she like grumbles as she's walking back and be like, at least someone knows the truth.
And Yong sort of was seeing that you and him were talking as she came back outside, and she's like, "What did he do now?"
I was telling him a story.
Oh. I guess he liked that. He is a collector of stories, or at least he says he is.
Well, I just figured I'd give him a story since he's a lore master.
Fair enough. Alright. Is Locke making its way out? I'm assuming.
Yep.
Alright. Do we want to stop by the butcher or what?
Might as well.
Actually, I kind of want to, just because I want to see what Snack thinks of him. And she points at, Kad.
Who's Snack?
Our butcher.
Your butcher's name is Snack?
Yeah. She doesn't spell it with a C. It's S-N-A-K. Snack.
Snack, crackle pop, Rice Krispies.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
I'm
And
not
you
sorry.
guys make your way inside to the
Yep.
butcher shop.
Yep.
And you are greeted with first and foremost roughly maybe 8 or 9 half orc boy with an eye patch, and who is currently playing behind the counter with a very big fantasy style German Shepherd, very big floofy dog. And also behind the counter, next to him, who is currently getting ready to tenderize meat to prepare for.
We walk in just as it went smack
Yeah, pretty much.
with the meat hammer.
Just a
She-
snack
she-
go smack.
She was pulling it out and slamming it, and yeah.
She protects,
and-
she attacked, but most importantly, her mallet goes smack.
like-
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lovely sight to come into on. Okay.
And this lovely woman is a orc, a full-on gray-skinned orc that is actually, for body weight, probably as big as Kad, and then about maybe a couple inches shorter, but not by much. And she is just pounding away at the meat as you walk in, and then the little boy looks up and, "Oh, Locke, hi! Wait,
Hello.
why is there an elephant?"
Hello.
Because I wanted there to be.
This is my unseen servant. He's now can be seen.
Does this mean that I am now Bob?
I will do this thing where I'll just turn to Kad and say,
No, really, see, it's because I want him to be here. If I don't, I put my hand on him and turn him invisible.
Whoa!
Goodbye.
Gone. There.
And he says goodbye.
After I'm gone.
There is a much louder pound, and no magic in shop.
Doesn't mean I can't turn it off. Because that's technically magic, too. Look, we were
Bring-
told there were scraps. Can we just get our scraps?
Yeah, sure. And
Okay.
she turns to the boy who gathers the scraps, and I guess, I don't know. Maybe give him the ribbon later if you see her. I don't know.
That's the idea.
Okay. Don't worry about Mom. Just bring him back. I've never really met a what is it called? Yong speaks up. Loxodon. Right. I've never really met a Loxodon before. So.
He's a gentle giant.
Oh, you mean like Mom? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
She's still sitting there.
Locke marches out the door, like exaggerated gung ho style. It's like casually like pulls Cat along for the ride. Come on, let's go before we upset the other gentle giant.
She seems nice.
And I make him visible again as soon as we're out the door.
Ah. Says the boy as you're walking away with your invisible giant.
No, he can be seen again now.
Right, he could be seen once you got back outside. You said.
Right. I mean, the door
And
hasn't
the boy
closed
was-
because everyone else
Oh,
still
that's
has
true.
to leave.
Right.
Right, so
As we're
Anyway.
crossing the threshold, that I make invisible again. Because no magic in shop. Outside the door is technically not in the shop. I love
Yeah.
my technicalities.
Yep.
As long as they're in my favor.
Alrighty. So having done that, yeah, you got a bit of scraps of meat. It would be very tricky to make these last for any kind of long. They're meant to be snacks given to Hollis,
a beast.
but
yeah.
yeah.
We have a
Um,
bag of holding, don't we? Does a bag of holding preserve food?
No.
It would still spoil.
You need a bag of cold.
Which is not something that technically exists that Critical Role made special. But yes.
Alright.
No.
That would
Bag
be
of
used for the
holding.
circle of that would be a bag of molding would be used by the circle of spores to throw pick out a rotting piece of meat and throw it and be like, ah, be infected.
Be
Actually,
infected.
funnily enough, you guys do know a Circle of the Spores. But anyway,
Yeah, but
Jesus Christ.
so moving on. Alright. So I guess this crazy party is ready to go.
Seems that way. Right, Al?
Yep.
Right, Al.
Radio.
Radio, here we go.
Alrighty. And then Yong leads the party outside of town and
the
or
mist
outside of the village and heading back through the forest. And we jump back to the main map. Yay!
Yay! And we're not too far from Caperton. I mean, right out.
Right, Al. No, you're not.
About a day and a half travel.
Yep. So traveling through the forest, and then traveling a little bit on the road, you'll get one night of rest in a camp, before you make it to Rydell. Now the question is, how do we design this lookout situation, considering you have a party of what, 6? No,
We just
5.
Kad, Silver, Locke, Yong, Oak, 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5.
2 people can double up on their night watches.
Yep. Which, to make that easy for my brain, I'll just have Yong and Oak double up.
All right, that works.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then
I
just
think
double up with someone else.
it's worth mentioning that I will most likely remove my shirt when I sleep,
Okay.
and I am going to tie it very tightly around my weapon and tie it very tightly around my belt.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I could just put it in a bag of holding.
Well,
Right.
no one suggested that hidden character, so I'm going to tether my weapon to myself.
Silver's just gonna be like, that's one way to do it.
I
Also,
don't want to
one
lose it.
more. We need one more group of 2 for a watch.
Oh, we do?
Yes, there's 5 of us.
I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as everybody rolls.
I mean, if it's a
Okay.
if it's a rotation of 4 shifts, which usually seems to be the case when we have a party.
No,
of
it's a
4.
rotation of 3 shifts.
It can be 3 or 4, technically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And did anyone volunteer or get appointed for the first one yet, or we're still establishing that?
We haven't established yet.
So let me volunteer for the first watch, so if I wake people up, they've not already been fully rested.
All right.
Okay.
Alright, so Kad gets first watch and first perception roll.
I'll take second.
Perception.
Which you can
I'll
do
take
that.
final.
There you go. Whoa!
You see everything.
Your eyes open to the truth of the cosmos.
Everything the light touches has a smell.
Everything the light touches, everything you can smell is your kingdom. What about that stinky, smelly place? You must never
Yup.
go over there, Kadruil.
Wait a minute, I'm the one that's supposed to quote Lion King. That's not fair. Perception check of 25. Holy crap! Natural 20.
Indeed.
Yeah. With your high perception roll, it is peaceful. Everything is calm. You do not see any kind of crazy anything. Although, about the craziest that you do see is, that,
Was
Something
Yong
that you-
talking to the doll again?
no. I want there to be something there because that was a natural
Whispers.
20, but there's not really anything. Cosmic smells. Yeah, it's a peaceful night. It is calm. You rolled high enough, and it specifically smell, so you know that you already would know this anyway. But that bag of meat that Locke has is probably not going to last very long. I don't know why. You're not sure why they got it.
The way, pretty much, I pretty much just got it just like on the off chance that Riven like shows up in the next week or so, and if not, well, we can just use the scraps to accent our meals at night when we set up camp.
Yeah, I mean you will have fire,
like-
so you
like-
could theoretically cook it.
Like cook up the scraps over the fire and then just use them because they're just formless scraps to just like make like loose form burritos around our ration.
And it
Alright.
was raw meat, right?
Yeah.
Scraps, yes.
Scraps of raw meat.
Cook them up, and you get little scraps of cooked meat that you can then use as like additional shit.
Mostly venison, like elk and deer and whatnot.
So we can make jerky. Eventually,
Yeah.
it'll look in the bag and it'll have dried out and be edible? Question mark.
No. No,
Not how
you
that
need
works.
to make like a little teepee around a fire and
You
smoke.
would have to encase it in salt for that to happen.
That too. And
Anyway,
also you need it encased with smoke Put it
Anyway.
on sticks.
Moving on.
So
Yeah.
the night is truly magical. Yay. Next.
Yeah, kinda. Sorry. Perception roll for whoever wants to go next.
Me, I voted second. Perception. That's a 9.
Nothing
It
going
is
on
not
at all.
mighty. All right, next.
Silver's taking last.
Alrighty. So Yong and Oak.
So just roll once at
Hey, we-
advantage, and one is each.
Actually, yeah, I could totally do that. Because one would be helping the other.
Yes, and please roll the one with the +9.
Yes.
Plus
We missed
9.
having Oak.
Plus 9. It's not plus 9 anymore.
Oh, shit!
God, it's +12. Holy shit.
What happened?
You leveled up.
I
So is that
leveled.
advantage or disadvantage? I'm confused.
That's advantage.
God.
That's the exact same roll.
Real?
How about that?
For all you people who can't see, the DM just rolled a perception of 23 on an advantage against a 23 with a perception of 12.
Yep.
+12. Yeah.
Oh, plus 12.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yes, he sees
They're
eyes.
both bold. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Science.
So the reason the reason that he is plus 12 now is because when he got his new level of not cleric, and
Not cleric.
he multi-classed.
Oh.
And when he got the first level of that new class, one of the perks that he got for starting with that class via
Oh, it's
multi
an increase of skills, isn't it?
when he got the multi-class, one of the traits that you got for choosing Bard as your secondary class was you can get skill proficiency in a skill of your choice.
So double proficiency.
No, I got Kad never had when Kad had or Kad bleh, when Oak
Oak.
had the perception of +9.
That was from a feat.
He was
Oh.
never rolling it with proficiency because he didn't have proficiency in perception. Now he does.
Oh God.
So yeah.
By the
I
way,
missed having him around because of that perception.
by the way, Bard is where he went,
Makes sense. The dulcimer.
and expertise is a thing.
Oh boy.
His perception's gonna be fun later. Anyway, and cool on me to make it to where I can't surprise my party because the NPC has a perception of yes. Anyway,
Yes.
The thing is, though, is we kind of keep splitting up from the NPCs.
you do.
Well, the one NPC. But hopefully now we can
we
fix that
split from
remedy.
Yong for a while. We split from Yong for a couple sessions there too.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, let's
Perception
put
of
the Nyong thing
23.
back.
Perception of 23. It is peaceful night as with the nat 20 from before, and nothing really going on of interest. Oh, actually,
Yay, my turn.
actually, you know what? I finally decided on a thing. I don't know if Kad would do anything with it, but he would have heard it rather than because he got a nat 20. It was way far off. Like way off in the distance of maybe a day's worth of travel. No, a day and a half's worth of travel. Way off. But you would have heard the sound of perhaps music of some sort, way off from where you were.
Okay.
But that would be all that you would have got.
Did he just
Okay.
hear everything in Rydell?
It's all
Maybe.
like miles and miles away.
I
No,
smelled
like,
every
We're
single
less
person.
than a day. We're less than a day's travel from it.
It's still miles and miles and miles.
I can tell you what each person had for dinner.
Anyway. So, yeah. Roll for perception for Silver. 14. Yeah, peaceful night. Nothing really going on.
Yay. Okay.
Alrighty. So,
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon. Or rations.
Wakey, eggs and beggy.
rations.
wakey, eggs and rations.
Mhm.
Wakey, eggs and dead people.
Yeah, no, that would be bad.
Wakey, eggs and dead meat in the bag.
I was making a Team 4-star reference, you uncultured swines.
Alrighty. So you guys make your way
Come
to...
on, dragon. Wakey, eggs and dead people. Sup, big green.
You guys make your way to Rydell, and you're once again greeted with the wonders that is Rydell's guards.
Oh, the toll.
Indeed, the toll.
And of course,
Fine.
Silver has her hood up.
Where did I put... There it is.
It's like
It is tiny on this. I was looking for the token for the party. And yeah, this is a city map that's so big because, like Caverton, Rydell is huge. And
And
I
it's
use
a good defense point.
I use the party token like I would on the main map for Rydell's thing. You're coming in from over here.
And I'm way too zoomed in.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So,
And I forget the different colored markers or the different districts.
yep, different districts.
Wee. Still 13 by 13.
Yep. Enjoy huge city of huge. Also
Like
for
we're just making lines.
yes, for Kad's benefit, this place is very much mini Caverton. It's not quite as big as Caverton, but there's a lot of stuff here. You having been in Caverton most of your life, and though you didn't really leave the area of the guard that you stayed in primarily, there were some times that you were let loose to do errands and wander the town, and you did grow up in the town, so that before you started training, you did wander the town a bit. This place feels very much like Caverton, but on a somewhat smaller scale. And unlike Caverton, this town, once you get inside, has a much more wide scope of varying different races and all over the place. Whereas Caverton was primarily Loxodon, humans, elves, a few Dragonborn, and the most out of place exotic races were the Loxodons and the Simic. Here it's everywhere. There's all sorts of crazy characters here. But yeah, it is my most colorful city for sake of races. That being
I
said,
was about to say, but it's black and white, but okay.
ish. So yeah, you come on. You guys all come up. Yong has her hood. Silver has hers. And you're coming up to the human guards that are blocking the path to enter Rydell. And the guards sort of dismissively look in your direction and are like, Toll, and then they see Yong, and then they see Kad.
We probably should have thought this through.
Maybe.
Because I get the feeling we've just made a boo-boo.
So the two guards sort of look at each other and then
We should use the force. This is not the person you're looking for.
Would it be insight if I wanted to see their initial reaction? Are they surprised to see me? Do they look like they're wanting to
insight.
run and tell someone?
Insight would work for that, yes.
13. What is
13.
their initial reaction upon seeing me?
Initial reaction is basically confused and then a sense of not necessarily threat as if they're going to go and tell somebody, but it's actually sort of wonder. They're more curious than anything.
Oh, look, another Loxodon's come to town.
So, I'm debating if I want to be courageous enough, but I think I want to be stupid enough to do it. I think I just said the same thing. Yeah. So I gesture to my traveling companion, and with a sort of a stern smile, I say, "Yes, they're with me."
Okay, that is technically not a lie.
Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah.
And it's technically not a lie, so
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Technically not a lie. That's why it's persuasion instead of deception.
okay. I didn't know because it was technically be advantage, but okay.
No.
Oh, they're with me.
20, not natural. The guards sort of look at each other for again, and then, well, all right then. If all of you have the toll fee, you can go right on in.
What was it again? Refresh my memory. Been a while.
It is, I believe I had said originally 2 gold a person to get in.
Yep.
All right. Oh, yep. I'll go ahead and chuck them the money just to save us the trouble.
Yep. Do you still have platinum pieces left?
I do, but I'm not throwing them around anymore.
Right. Okay.
Silver's
have
going
a
to pay
few.
for her toll.
And then Oak pays for his as well, and for Yong's.
I pay for mine, of course.
Alright. Toll's paid. You guys are.
the 10 gold.
And as each person is paying their own fine, I'm like sitting there like visually counting and nodding and keeping up appearances and all.
Alrighty then. So you make your way inside the bustling city of Rydell. Yes, quite perhaps these music and sound that you were hearing last night was probably people in Rydell.
Even though it's probably more quieter now since it's the middle of the day.
Well, yes,
This
it's
is basically fantasy Vegas, isn't it?
Yep.
it is a lot
Old
like.
saucer.
Well, I was going to say everyone's sober now, but okay, never mind.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is very much sort of fantasy Vegas, so not everyone's sober. A lot more are sober now than there were last night, but not everyone is sober.
Riven got
Is
laid.
there-
Anyway, so
Is this in character?
No, I do not say this in character. You should know. I
But
didn't
yes.
use the voice.
Yes, it is.
all right, so
Silver would have come here before, wouldn't she have?
you would have been through here
Just says
before.
passing through.
Passing through. Busy, bustling city. Races of people of all types, all walks. It is being in the middle of the day when you're coming through here now. There are people traveling the streets and alleyways, and people are just general hustle and bustle of town. And there are a few people who are sort of passing glances towards Kad. But people wave it off as, not everyone in town is going to want to mess with the Loxodon.
I'm going to instinctively walk around, not like obviously so, but like
Just
not,
wave at people.
sort of keeping my shoulders held up, my head high. Confidence. In other words, not like, okay, never seen here, but more of a, right, on to duty,
Right, yeah.
The persona of business.
Yes,
Uh,
because
so-
lack of confidence is visual. So I'm trying to play the part of I know exactly what we're doing. I lean over. What are we doing again? So yeah.
Silver's going to ask and be like, "So, is there a tavern we're going to stay at?
There are many taverns here.
Well, is there one particular one you want to stay at?"
There's one I'd like to stay at, but I don't think we have the spare platinum to afford it.
Where do you want to stay at?
I don't remember its name. What was the name of what was essentially the giant casino hotel we stayed at last time?
That was
Silver wants to go around if she can find like a message board anywhere.
Sparkling Wishes.
Right, that place. I remember
Um,
it being stupidly expensive, as Wylock said. I don't think we have the spare platinum.
It
to
was
afford
5
this thing.
gold a night.
It's still pretty expensive, and I
Yeah.
don't think I have a spare 5 gold lying around anymore.
I have
don't
one
know.
left.
Well, maybe. Well, Silver can pay for 2 rooms.
I mean, if you want to go to the
Grumble,
Sparkling,
grumble, y'all aren't paying me
For
enough
how
for the
long?
grumble, grumble.
if you
Just a
guys
night,
want, if you want to
maybe.
go to the Sparkling Wishes, I mean, Oak can also front the bill too.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we can, I suppose. But again, expensive.
Can Silver go and find like a message board or something?
As assuming that there is a sort of buddy system so that people don't get lost in town, though Silver is free to. Yeah, okay, sure. People are free to wander off as they wish to do. You can find a message board.
I
You've
was just
been in-
saying, like, along our way towards the tavern, would she see one?
Yeah, probably. It'd be a little bit
And
off
she'll
of
be
the
like-
beaten path to go that way to look at it, but yeah.
She's like, "I'll be right back. I'll look for him," pointing to Kad.
Um,
I would like to take the letter that I had previously written, and is there any sort of place that I could post it off?
yeah, there is. The sort of business district is sort of the area that you're sort of skirting to go towards the tavern. So
And what
you-
would postage for a letter entail? Is it like very expensive?
I don't think that that's something that's specifically written in a book somewhere.
So how much would you like for postage? I'll word it differently.
Depends on how you want it delivered. If you want it delivered by hand, like someone on horseback posted, like the mail carrier, which does travel from town to town ever so
Get
often.
back, food's ready.
If you do it by him, it is going to be, I will say, probably 5 silver to the snail mail equivalent, basically the slower mail.
Mhm.
And then it would be, I'll say 7 silver to send one by bird, basically.
Okay. So I will drop the 7 silver, I guess. I want to make sure that it's safely delivered and not pillaged by bandits or something stupid like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yay! All my numbers get smaller. Yay!
All right. And Silver was looking for a what was she looking for?
A message board, but she was going there to look like any like news postings or maybe wanted posters.
Yeah. So give me an investigation check of how long it takes you to navigate the city when you sort of wander off by yourself.
16.
Okay. Not too bad. So you do see a little it amounts to a quest board, um essentially, or a wanted board, various different, like a bulletin board of different
Yeah,
activities.
she was
and
just
there's-
looking for something like that.
Yeah, you've gotten the assortment of said thing, and you do have a wanted poster for a certain halfling that's buried in front of the Misty Village. Um,
Okay.
and um, you have um a wanted poster for, based on the depiction, the drawing of it's kind of shaky, but it looks like it could be some form of, maybe like uh lycanthrope werewolf something. Not sure. It looks interesting. Um, According to the post, somebody's claiming that there's a werewolf running around Rydell at night. Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
You know it's
Mhm.
a legitimate threat. The dungeon master is the one scoffing at it.
huh?
Say again, you were quiet.
I say you know that it's a legitimate threat when it's the dungeon master scoffing at it.
Fish. I was only scoffing at it in the nature of how it was written in the wanted poster. The person who made the poster doesn't believe it exists, but he was paid to write it, so he posted it. It's one of those like news article type things where the person writing it is sort of feigning legitimacy of the claim. Anyway,
Right.
and
The
That's
boy
about it.
guard wolf.
that's about it. There's no wanted posters for any of the party members.
Okay, then she just goes and tries to find her way back to the party.
All right.
Alrighty. And you make your way through town, traversing the inner streets. A few kids try to stop Kad for a moment, and you know that typical inquisitive kid thing, but they are quickly pulled away from parentals, or by parentals.
I'd probably be casting a lot of side gazes. I have an image I have to upkeep, so I'd probably, without turning my head, look sideways at them and see that they're there, and that might be why the parents are like, no, he's busy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
And
Kids, do not bug this person. Look.
yep, you then make your way to the tavern and inn and bar that is the Sparkling Wishes. Yeah. Once again, as you are, this is sort of mid-afternoon because it takes a long time to travel. Righto, because big city. And you did some stopping to do various things. The I need to roll. I need to check a thing right quickly.
Was this the doorman?
No, well, you're making your way into the Sparkling Wishes, and you are greeted with yet another tiefling individual,
The more
Um,
devilish looking one.
a very much more devilish looking one, like full on devil mustache, red tiefling's horns. Yeah, if any person in the entirety of this campaign was a devilish character, in both the adjective and in the figurative and the realistic, yeah, it'd be this guy.
And his name's Big Trouble.
You know,
No.
No.
I didn't give a distinct name for him because nobody asked, but I did decide that he was loosely French, whatever that was.
Oh, right.
Ha
He was snotty. Or
A
snooty.
little bit. And as you guys are
He
making
has a
your,
je ne sais quoi.
yeah, and as you guys are making your way into the Sparkling Wishes, I want you guys to make for me, all of you, perception rolls.
Yay.
That's my notes, not my sheet. There we go.
Nope. You were distracted by the crazy amount of shiny and all sorts of
11.
2 11s and a 2.
I can smell whatever as good as
Um,
And Silver is just slightly full of herself right now, trying to look, like slight chest out, proud.
yeah. So none of you, I'm not rolling for Oak because it's not even required for him. Yay, passive perception. Though he doesn't really mind it, and he also had a hunch. As you guys are making your way inside, you realize in collecting together as a group to go inside the tavern that Yong has wandered off somewhere.
Where the
No, wait.
Have you any idea where she just futzed off to?
Yes, I do. She went to visit a friend.
Oh, all right. I trust that won't cause any trouble for us in the long run.
No, I would assume not, unless, she does something stupid. But I think she learned as much as I did from potential such things. If she needs to go and do anything, potentially, if stupid, yes. If she's going to do anything stupid, she's going to come and tell us, I'm sure.
Here's to
But
hoping.
She'll return. She knows we're going to the the Sparkling Wishes, and she will make her way back here eventually.
Eventually being the operative word.
Yes. Young sort of wandered off, and Kad and Silver are introduced to the likes of the Sparkling Wishes. I don't
Ooh,
know
colors.
I don't know if Silver's actually been in here before.
Probably not. She's just like, she's been through, probably stayed at like some random tavern or sorts and just went on her way.
Yeah. This is a very, very casino-esque tavern. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
neon lights, slot machines.
Well, minus the slot machines because they don't exist in this time period, but there is craps. Card games.
I'm sorry, did you just say crabs?
Craps.
Mhm. You did.
Yeah,
Okay,
I said
craps.
craps.
craps. Okay. Yeah, I thought you said crabs, like the sexually transmitted infection. And I was like,
No.
wait a second.
No, that's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Wait
Anyway.
a second. Do they sell prostitutes here? Because if that's the case, then Riven might have gone a bit too far.
She just wanted to go see the pretty colors and she was drunk, okay?
Alrighty. Anyway, so you made your. This place is not quite busy yet because it's not quite that late in the evening just yet. People are starting to gather. And Locke,
They have a show lineup again.
Locke, make me a perception check.
Just for the perception. 17.
All right.
Damn.
So, they're not as particular about the show's goal because you're not necessarily having to pay it yet. You're just going into the tavern side of the inn right now because the show's not being performed just yet. But you do see the gnomes and dwarfs that make up the band Bamf that seem to be tuning up and off to the side. Also getting drinks and various things.
Oh, good for them.
And Yeah. You sort of collect yourself together and you sit at a table or at a bar, either one, and your waitress is a tabaxi cat, female cat person.
Same one as before?
Hmm?
Because I vaguely recall we had one of those last time.
Yep, it's the same one as before.
All right.
And she sort of starts to come over, figuring out, collecting orders in her head, and just getting down, ready to basically get ready to take your order. And then she sees the elephant in the room, because that's a recurring thing now.
We have an elephant in the party. The elephant in the room is basically our catchphrase. We're not charisma. Yes, we're the elephants in the room. That is our party name now. I'm calling it. We are the elephants in the room.
Have elephant will
Claiming
room.
the white- Oh boy.
Okay.
Yay, I'm the mascot.
Yes. Yes, you are.
I mean, if he didn't have such a lovable personality, he wouldn't have turned out that way.
I guess.
I mean, I adore
I mean,
Kad.
that's how you get. I mean, that's how you become a group mascot. You just be fucking lovely. Just be a lovely, magnificent bastard, and you'll become a group mascot. Rocket is the perfect example of this. She is a
Yes.
delight. She is fucking lovely.
Anyway, so she sort of sees Kad and she's okay. So wait, you were here before. She looks at Oak and
Guilty as charged.
he wasn't with you before. You got a new friend. Okay.
Yep, that we did.
What sort of drink would you like, sir?
I'm guessing to me.
Yep.
Well, this is where I would get something very impressive and complicated, but not alcoholic. But seeing as this place looks very rich and I have 4 silver to my name, would Kad have an idea of what he could order that would be affordable but not embarrassing?
Water.
A glass of your finest water.
I mean, to be cheap, probably water.
Yay.
Luckily the same. Just water. You don't like alcohol.
I don't even know what Kad. I know what Kenneth's preference on alcohol is, but I don't know what Kad's is.
I'm not sure, but I know alcohol equals giant dollar signs in the air. So, yeah.
Generally speaking,
I mean,
yeah.
I would imagine this place an apple juice would cost more than a pint of some sort of alcoholic something. So, I'm sure the alcohol would be that much more expensive anyway. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So she gets your orders for simple water for some of the party, and
I guess I'll be the only one with an alcoholic drink. Okay.
actually Oak is getting one.
Drink until we're pretty.
God. I'm already pretty good, sir.
I know. Who's drinking?
Oak is getting an alcoholic drink though.
Oh,
For him.
So anyway, you get your drinks together. You order your drinks, and as she comes back a few moments later, she sets down. Maybe not. She sets down the level of drinks that you guys would have asked for. Water for Locke, but instead of water for Kad, she puts down like the medium grade alcoholic drink instead.
Oh.
And she points off to the side. You had somebody that got it for you. There you go.
Who are they pointing at?
Looking off to the side, there is a female Goliath in the corner that got that drink for you.
Wait, female Goliath?
Different one than the one you saw.
Ah, damn. Okay.
What? Something I am missing, detective.
Oh, Riven had ran into a female Goliath being a bouncer over at the Prancing Tom. Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Yeah. Goliaths are big, tall, bulky races. Gray-skinned.
I know what Goliaths are.
I'm talking for Kenneth's benefit.
I always thought they were some sort of gargoyle.
No, they're mostly like...
They
yeah,
s-
they're just really like hardened
They s-
best as barbarians people.
they sort of started out that way back in the older versions of D&D, but then they got more human as it went along and lost the wings. But yeah, you have the right idea.
It was a failed reference to a 90s cartoon. Anyway, giant person. Gotcha.
That too. Yes, and I love that cartoon. I just didn't quite catch that reference at first. Why? I'm tired. Anyway, yes.
Wasn't the main one
Yes.
Goliath? I thought so, but anyway, go ahead.
Oh no.
But yeah, Big Goliath got you a drink.
She paid for your water.
She paid for an upgrade on my water. My water now has stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
And at least it's
Will
not.
he
At least it's not the.
realize it?
At least it's not the alcoholic water that we established earlier in the game.
Oh, I thought it was.
No,
No.
it's not. You get some drinks. One of them was bought by a Goliath, and
That is now, instead of water, is an alcoholic drink.
It leveled up.
It
It cross-classed.
The thing is, will Kad drink it?
I guess very gingerly.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Kad. Though Kad, the person, as a character, has probably never really drank. Being the race that he is, he's pretty resistant to such things.
Mm-hmm.
He has strong constitution and whatnot, so he's gonna be fine. I'm not even gonna have you roll for that. It would take a lot of much more
Waiter.
alcohol. It would take a lot of much more alcoholic drinks to get Kad drunk in any kind of fashion.
Water.
The dwarven ale of water would probably do it, yeah. But anyway,
It's easy. I snorted it all into my trunk and I hold it. See, it's gone.
As you start
When no one's
burning.
looking, I dispose of it in a nearby plant and watch it wither in real time.
Your nose is slightly burning. Well, I can't
Does
smell
everything
first.
smell like water in here? Is it?
anyway, all right. So you get your drinks. They get those.
One of which was purchased by a Goliath.
Which
You
is
get your drink,
interesting.
and then it appears as if there's going to be the show coming concert from the band Banff that Locke and Oak know of. That is going to be in the next room over that you would have to pay extra for, potentially, if you wanted to enjoy such things. Otherwise, you have a nice.
Not really. Not invested in that this time around.
And then, yeah, you have much more fancier rooms than Kad is really used to. Granted, he's used to his room that was pretty well kept when he was back with where he originally was before he was imprisoned. However, this one is yeah,
Unnecessarily luxurious.
yeah, kinda.
See, that's why we charge you so much. We put like 100 amenities in each room.
Something like that.
So are we all just
Genius
like
marketing.
sitting at the table?
At this point, yeah, you would be.
So, Do we go and find the
The thing we came here for?
the dazzling tiara?
Yeah, that. Like I said, the thing we came for. It probably would be a good idea to handle that at some point. Yeah, that's why we came here in the first place.
Well, we got our rooms. How about we just go and do that now?
Might as well.
Okay.
You know where it is?
I mean, it's getting a little late wandering around town for a bit. I mean, we might be able to get a location and then
We can
go
at
and
least case it and take a look.
Alright.
Besides, the nightlife is just coming alive, so
look. That's a good point.
we could we would be able to blend in slightly.
True.
I flip my collar up rebelliously.
You don't have a collar.
Ooh, so scary.
Oh wait, you're in a tux. You do have a collar. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
The medieval version of a tux. So scary.
Not trying to be
And
scary.
somewhere over in my Discord server, one of my members is currently having a massive conniption fit
Oh,
because his name is Tuxedo. That's what we call him.
Alrighty then.
That is who he
So-
is. He is our local tiny tux.
So, yep. If everyone is going to make their way back out to try to find the dazzling tiara.
I would ask, what kind of person is behind the bar?
The person who is running the bar and is your waitress is the tabaxi.
Oh, she's multitasking tonight.
Oh yeah, she's running both the bar and waitressing. She seems to be a little bit rushed.
Short-staffed.
Something's up, yeah.
She's gonna probably ask the Tabaxi real quick if she ever comes back again and be like, hey, do you know where this place is?
Oh, the dazzling. Wanna go to the dazzling? Yeah, I know where it's at.
Where?
It's in the business district. Probably close to the south gate. You'll see it. You can't miss it. That sign's freaking about as bad as the idle tomcat.
The idle tomcat?
It's fright, especially at night. I don't know why he seems to think he's going to get a lot of business at night, but I guess he likes the nightlife himself. Anyway, yeah, you'll see it. It's down south that way.
Okay. She goes in, I guess we head down that way then. After we're done with our drinks.
Alrighty. I have no complaints against this.
Yep.
Sure. Sure.
So you guys finish up with your drinks. And as you are making your way out, because you paid for rooms and drinks, but you didn't actually go to your rooms. You're leaving the tavern to head towards Sparkling Tiara, right?
Pretty much.
Theoretically, the rooms would still be there whenever we came back.
I'm aware, Bozo.
Are you sure about that?
So, as you are making your way out of the dazzling, Sparkling Wishes, you're going to Dazzling Tiara. Bleh.
As we're leaving,
As
a
you were
werewolf
leaving,
attacks.
as you were
Past the
leaving,
flamboyant festival, and if you see the effervescent whatever, you've gone too far.
as you were leaving, there is a female Goliath right next to the door.
The
Ooh,
same
she's gonna
one.
try to flirt.
The same one that I gave you the drink before, yes.
How expensive was the drink? Like, not asking, but like, if I was looking at a drink menu and selected water after studying everything, would I know how much this drink would have cost?
It was middle. I think that Cad would know, at least on some level, that it was a higher rung alcoholic beverage. It wasn't something super high dollar. It wasn't the best in the store by any means, but or best in the shop by any means. But it was probably like maybe 2 or 3 notches below what would be the best tier. If the best drink in the house costs, say, 12 gold, then this costs like 6. And then most of what like Silver got probably cost like 3, unless she went super fancy.
No, she just had to pay up for a lot for a room, so.
Yeah.
Which is how much again for the room?
It is 5 gold to be 5 gold for a room, and then 2 extra gold if you want to be a part of the show, and 2 gold for like various different prices in gold for the drinks that range from like 2 to 12. But
yeah, she would just take a simple $2 one, so she would be at 3 gold now.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't work this way, but are my danger sense tingling?
Danger sense.
I mean, I'm a barbarian. I have those things.
Yeah, well, you haven't rolled anything yet, so I think you're safe.
Well, it specifically says to oncoming danger, I'm alert to it, and I can blah 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 dex saves. I don't think it says anything about someone who's about to flirt with me or say I owe them something. So, but that sounds like a dangerous situation to me.
No, not really. There's no dex save required situation.
Yeah, duh.
Is this
Can I sort of maybe insight and see what?
Yes,
Do
you
what?
can. You can infect insight. I don't know what you said, Brian, but
I was saying, is this a circumstance where he's about to be flirted with?
with an insight of 19.
Because I'm gonna laugh my ass off if that's the case.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if he's about to be flirted with.
With an insight check of 19, yeah, she kind of got you this drink because she's never really seen a big old huge Loxodon in here before.
So is that a yes to the flirting?
The
Yes.
question then becomes, would
Pretty
you
much.
tap that?
Oh my God.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Okay, fair enough.
My problem then becomes, what do I say? I have no idea how he would react. Think about it like this. Put it in a more modern perspective. He has a desk job, and he's been in isolation. He's not exactly a people person.
Antisocial.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, the simplest answer.
Pretty much the name of our group at this point.
Yeah,
The
the
sim-
antisocial heroes.
The simplest
Heroes might be a
answer.
bit of a stretch.
The simplest answer would be a thank you. Would be what he would get most likely. He would not want to, leave her hanging, so to speak. But at the same time,
Right.
he's not going to go any further than that. He's probably just going to thank her, and that's about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I will sort of gently bow just ever so slightly and thank her for the hospitality.
You're welcome, big guy. Maybe I'll see you around in here sometime. I mean, that's
Sort of nod awkwardly.
Yeah, works for me.
I'm assuming the rest of the party is just standing there, like, looking between them. They're like, what?
I mean, I would assume that Cad might not necessarily have said that with the rest of the party there. The rest of the party may have made their way outside, and then...
Good point. Okay.
So you turn around and and all of a sudden you see a very pink elephant come out of the room.
When did you have time to get face painted on? When did you get time to get face painted?
I clear my throat, and I'm back to normal.
Everything okay, Kad?
Yes.
Wow.
That doesn't sound like everything's okay.
It's fine. Someone bought me a drink, and yeah, it's fine.
Well, that
Okay.
was nice of them.
It was, yes.
Okay.
Notices your bulge.
No.
Stop.
Never.
Locke, get your mind out of the gutter, dude.
Never.
Anyway, alright. So, you head out, make your way sort of southwest-ish, making your way down towards where you would find the dazzling tiara. Roll me, actually no. Actually, she's not there. I was gonna say Yong would be helping to lead you through town since she knows it, but she's not there. Who's leading the
Oh
charge?
no, we're doing this without Yong. Crap. Okay.
Who's
wait until.
Who's leading the charge
until
to
he
try
shows
to?
back up?
Who's leading the charge to try to find this place, or are you going to try
It
to find
was-
Yong?
Well, we don't know where Yong went.
No, you don't.
Put ourselves where Yong can find us, I guess, and hope for the best? Question mark.
Yong knows that you're staying at the Sparkling Wishes.
Yeah, but would we have waited around until she came back? If she came back.
Data not found.
You did say
Either
that
way,
you said you wanted to stake out the area, but
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
and it
stake
would-
it
I
out, but
mean-
let's stake it out, but not necessarily commit to a plan of attack just yet, or
Right.
whatever course of action we're going to take. Let's just stake it out, get a feel for what we're doing, and figure things out more in depth once we got Yang back. Sound like a good idea?
because we need the sneaky one. Anyway,
you do need the
Yep.
sneaky one. I mean, you could stake it
so
out.
I guess
She also knows that you're going to
Silver's-
be. She also knows that you're going to be looking for the dazzling tiara. So in theory, you could wait it out and still stake it out and assume that she might realize that you're there if you're not at the tavern.
who knows?
But-
Maybe. Either way, Silver is going to be leading the charge since she's the one that asked for the directions.
True.
All right.
Her name is not Jan, sir. Quit that.
So was it just perception? Well, it'd probably be perception because she's looking for colorful shit.
Yeah, pretty much. It's perception to try to look for signage in amongst all the nightlife and crazy.
12.
Sure. It takes you a little bit. You're sort of having to navigate the town a little bit, but you do eventually find the dazzling
Took the wrong
tiara
turn somewhere, had to backtrack.
a little bit, and then you finally make your way to the dazzling tiara, and you see a signpost that's just gaudy as all crap. It is extremely ostentatious. And it is like the signage actually has a tiara written on the thing, and then the dazzling tiara sort of emblazoned underneath it, and yeah, it's not hard to find at all. Compared to the rest of the shops around it, it looks a little bit well-to-do, but it's yeah, you have yourself a shop.
He must be a
Yay.
scammer.
Must be what?
A scammer.
Probably.
He scams people out of shit, out of money. So,
And let me show you this rock that's elephant repellent. Well, do you see any elephants? Oh, Kad walks around the corner.
Oh,
I mean, elephant attractant. See, there he is.
All right.
You're fooling no one with your tricks there, sir.
And
I get. Does the shop look open?
yes, it does actually.
Silver just like looks at the group, shrugs, and makes her way inside.
Okay, I guess we're going in. All right, okay.
I mean, you don't have to come in. You can stay outside. I just wanted to see what it's like inside.
I spin around and lean up against the building with one foot tucked up under my rear and just sort of stand there and hang my head like a bouncer beside the door.
Okay,
All right, nice.
let's do some shady business.
Alrighty then.
Reiterating, I'm on the outside of the door, not walking in with you.
That's fine.
I'm half tempted to just have Locke like climb up onto his back and just sit there on his shoulders and just also look up menacingly.
Just sit there and glare at people that look at you.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
and then
And
it's like
if they make prolonged eye contact, just point at him and sneer and point at them, and then I'm looking at you, looking at you.
Kinda, yeah.
all right. So
Great, Locke's gonna go bad with power.
The fuck is wrong with this party? That's all I want to know right now. The fuck is wrong with this party?
where the
they have a lot of fun
The
in what's
room.
wrong with this party. All right. So
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Locke's just gonna do that, assuming Kad lets him.
Sure.
it makes him feel more more
He's taller.
brave.
It gives me a vantage point to keep a better eye on the situation, is what it does.
it makes Locke taller. He enjoys it.
Yeah, he's and
I mean, that's an added bonus.
Also, you're breathing into your mic, I think, Kenneth.
Oh, sorry.
So Silver wanders in on her own. Oak actually stakes out the other side of the door to make it super shady.
Right, we are gonna be arrested. Something awful.
No,
If
it's just
anything
like-
comes by the alleyway, I'm gonna scream, "Caw!"
Caw! Caw,
just
mother-
scare it and hold it until later.
Alrighty then. So, because I am that DM and because it's fun, Silver, you wander on inside, and you see behind the counter, what appears to be a
Head of transformation.
well, behind the counter you
Hat
see
of
what
disguise.
behind the counter you see in fact a somewhat young, maybe 22, 23 halfling that is tending to the wares and keeping track of all of the various different items on the shelves. And he will give you a wave and a smile and wait. He looks up, sees you. I don't recall getting an appointment from someone of your stature. The next person to come in was supposed to be a half-orc.
I don't know. Would the group hear me?
Probably not.
If you
You're
walked
inside,
all the
we're
way
not.
to if you walked all the way to his counter and sort of tried to whisper it to him some sort of menacingly or some such, probably not. They're outside the door and the door shuts.
No, I meant like the group. Like, could they hear me?
Just a
If I
regular
just-
sentence. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
I guess they would have to roll perception.
probably.
Probably.
Can I smell it?
No.
You can smell my intentions.
You can smell the fear in the air.
You won't like my friend when he's pretty.
Anyway, so what are you doing, Silver?
I rolled a perception.
I should probably do that too, shouldn't I? All right.
Yep.
Blip 3.
You're too focused on trying to be menacing.
I'm not trying to be menacing. I'm just trying to keep a vantage point.
Okay.
What are you trying to hide, Silver?
What?
What are you trying to hide from the group?
She's not trying to hide anything. She
was
wants
trying to
them
say
hear.
something and see if we heard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she's inside and we're not.
Yes.
Right.
So
Okay.
in like a proud voice, she's gonna sit there and be like, "Yeah, the half orc is a bit indisposed at the moment. So can I have a moment of your time in private?"
Interesting. Roll me a quick deception check, and then we'll go from there later.
22.
Ooh. Silver looks you up and down. All right, follow me. And you guys head into the back, and I'll cut it there.
Okay.
It's a trap!
I shall guard the door until next time.
Yep, and right now Silver's gonna have to half-ass her, like half-ass everything in order to not get caught.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Alrighty, so
Yeah, but I just hope that everyone else on the outside heard the half orc is indisposed.
the
I guess she was trying to be sly as and be like, "There's a half orc coming along. You need to stop them."
yes, and you make a very good point, and yes, that was heard and understood because 26 perception. It was heard.
Yep. Yep.
Alrighty,
Nice.
so yeah, we will make do with that when we get there. Let's see. The first part of the This Has Been Shadows blah will be Brian.
This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next week when we find out what in the heck sort of mess that Silver's going to get herself in.
The worst kind.
Best kind.
Worse or better?
What's the difference in this context?
Exactly.
Who knows?